When the super experimental stock came on the scene, they needed a name for it. They called them funny cars, and that's where we are right now, the finals in the funny car competition. Doug Thorley in the near lane. Doug's header's Corvair. Fast one. Joe Lunati in a Camaro in the far lane. Let's watch. And Thorley wins it. 7.83 seconds, 192 plus miles an hour. And again, let's take our long lens from the end of the strip and give you a second look at it. And notice Doug Thorley wrestling with a tremendous torque as he comes off the starting line. But when he popped his chute, he knew he had won the Funny Car Championship. The Hurst Clinic, quiet. Everybody got well in a hurry. It is now button-up time for the clinic. The action is out on the track. Now the stock eliminator final. In the near lane, in a 67 Camaro, Dan Wenzel, Merrill, Michigan. Ken Gunning in the far lane, 57 Chev Wagon, the Jolly Green Giant. He has the handicap. And the Camaro wins it. Dan Wenzel of Merrill, Michigan, 12.33 seconds, 114 miles an hour for the Stock Eliminator title. Next, the Super Stock Finals. Bob Brown of Montclair, New Jersey, in a 65 Plymouth. He'll be opposed by Bill Jenkins in his white Camaro. Grumpy Jenkins had a run at the best last year. Not much luck. He's close to victory today. Let's see what happens. Defeats Bob Brown, 11.55 seconds, 116 miles an hour for Jenkins in the Super Stock Final. Now moving out of the staging area, competition eliminator semifinals, Joe Law, Dodge Powered Rail. Bruce Sizemore in the near lane, Chevy Power. The winner of this one goes against Gary Sullivan in the final. Sullivan has a bye. Handicap to Sizemore. Wins it on the top end. 9.05 seconds, 161 miles an hour for the West Virginian. Now we get a little hotter. We go to the semifinals of the top gas competition. Don Kane in the near lane from Kansas City, Missouri, a Chrysler Powered Rail. Billy Scott, 18 years old, in the far lane from San Bernardino, California. Staging very carefully. Kane wins it. 7.66 seconds, 193.9 miles an hour. Billy Scott, an 18-year-old, quite an effort. 7.9 seconds, 164 plus. The winner in the semifinals of the Top Gas, Don Kane. Another semifinal Top Gas eliminator, Bob Pacito out of Detroit, Michigan, Ford Powered Rail in the near lane. Jim Bunker from Russell, Kansas, a Chrysler Powered Rail in the far lane. The winner of this one goes against Don Kane in the Top Gas Finals. And Bunker did not get away clean on the start. Bob Pacito wins it. So we'll have Ford and Chrysler at it in the Top Gas Finals. Don Kane and Bob Pacito. The crowd really stirred up now. The competition eliminator finals, Joe Law in the far lane, Gary Sullivan from Minneapolis in the near lane. Top end, 9 seconds flat, 143 plus miles an hour. So Joe Law is the competition eliminator champion. Now we move to the top gas finals. Bob Placido in a Ford. Don Kane in a Chrysler. Placido from Detroit, sitting quietly. He's ready. Don Kane from Kansas City moving into position in the staging area. Buster Couch setting him. It's Ford and Chrysler. Placido in the far lane, Kane in the near lane. The red light called on Placido as Don Kane streaks away to win the top gas championship, 7.65 seconds, 184 miles an hour for the winner, Don Kane. Now strolling under the Hurst Bridge, Don Garlits. You'd never know it unless you get real close, not with that growth he's got all over him. But Big Daddy says he won't cut off the beard until he has broken the 7-second barrier. The swamp rat using that backcountry psychology you suspect here because he has been running very well. He's up here taking a look at the staging area and the starting line with Buster Couch. He wants to be on one of the seasoned portions of the starting line, and he'll be running against an old foe, Tom McEwen from Long Beach, California. If you've got a seat, you better go get it, because we're coming up to the final moment, the semifinals in the top fuel competition. On hand to make sure everything is going letter perfect, Wally Parks, President, National Hot Rod Association. Jack Hart, Executive Director, NHRA, making sure everything is ready for the semifinals in the top fuel competition. Now we have the first semifinal in the top fuel eliminator. Don Garlits from Sefna, Florida will be in the near lane, and Tom McEwen from Long Beach, California in the far lane. McEwen driving the colorful striped rail. Chrysler powered for McEwen, Dodge power for Garlits. Buster Couch staging them very carefully. Shuts down halfway down the strip. So Big Daddy goes to the finals. Don Garlits winning against Tom McEwen. This semifinal in the top fuel competition matches Jim Warren of Bakersfield, California, Chrysler power against Connie Galetta in the near lane. Ford powered the Bounty Hunter. Galetta from Mount Clemens, Michigan. He is the Winter Nationals champion. Warren and Galetta. And Galetta almost lost control of it at the start, and he has to shut down. So Jim Warren cruises to victory in the semifinals. It'll be Don Garlits and Jim Warren for the Top Fuel Eliminator Championship. And now the big crowd begins to settle down for the final electric moment. Jim Warren of Bakersfield, California. Don Garlits of Sefna, Florida. They are in the finals for the Top Fuel Eliminator Championship. Both have been very, very quick. Dodge powered for Garlits, Chrysler power for Warren. They'll move them in very carefully. Coming up out of that staging area, you'll notice when they come to the starting line, they'll clean the tires to make sure everything possible has been done to get their warrior off on the best kind of start. Jim Warren from Bakersfield, California. Most of the crowd standing for the finals in the Top Fuel Eliminator. Garlits moving up into position. Garlits wins it. Don Garlits, smoking all the way in the near lane, wins it. Did he break 7 seconds? Let's find out if he's got the shade. The crowd yelling, screaming in excitement, and Garlits has broken the 7-second barrier. So he'll have to cut off his whiskers, and here in slow motion, Garlits across, followed by Jim Warren. So the Dodge-powered Swamp Rat from Sefner, Florida, has won the National Championship Top Fuel Eliminator competition. And somebody, I'll bet you, brings him a razor, because he made a great point all week that if he could break the 7-second barrier, he'd cut off at least some of the whiskers. 6.77 seconds for Don Garlits, 220.58 miles an hour. For Jim Warren, 6.95 seconds. And because of the finish at the top end, he's a little quicker than Garlits, 222.7. So the Whiskers have had a trimming. One of the biggest crowds I've ever seen out on a drag strip cheering Don Garlits. In the winner's circle now, here's Don. Did you think you'd take the big one and come up with that kind of an ET?
Well, like I said, we had a couple of breaks there, a couple of red lights, and we knew the car had a terrific run in it, and we didn't know how many you could make like that, but with the red lights from McEwen and Sorokin, it led it where I was able to save the best for the last.
And then Don Garlits told the press, radio and television, what he sees in the future.
Well, like I say, we're going to go home. We've learned a lot from this race. This car has been great, but I think it's just a start on a certain design. As you can tell, the car doesn't look exactly like the other cars. We're going to go on with this design and some improvements, and I think the next one will even be faster.
In the winner's circle with Don Garlits, an old friend, a real pro, George Hurst. It's been a great meet. The Nationals, 67 at Indy. From the finish line at Don Garlits' championship run, and get his comment on what it's like.
You can't believe what the feeling is like. This has been a Hurst Performance Products film presentation.